Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be talking about a trade that I took and kind of going over what happened. Yes, so this trade could have been profitable, but I moved my stops and it hit my stop before it moved into TP. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about that first, and then we're going to be talking about what I was looking for in the markets, why I decided to take this trade, and kind of just giving you the rundown of what I was looking for and what I wanted to see happen in the marketplace, and then what has happened. But first, we're going to be talking about this trade that I took and essentially why I moved my stops, what I'm going to be doing moving forward, if I'm going to be moving my stops or not moving them at all, because if I hadn't moved my stops, the trade would have gone to take profit. And I'm kind of battling back and forth right now about if it's worth letting your trades run to either stop loss or take profit, or if it was a smart thing for me to do to move my stops anyways, because the trade could have gone either way, and I'll kind of show you guys what I was looking at and what I mean by that, but it could have gone either way, and I think where I moved my stops was like a good stop placement. But if I hadn't moved my stops, we would have been able to say, hey, I took a winning trade today, and that is just not the case. So we're going to be kind of talking about what I saw, and essentially you could be right about the market and wrong about the trade, and that was the case today. I was right on the direction of where I wanted to see the market go this morning, but I was wrong in moving my stops and where I kind of took my placement, because I could have also taken a better entry on this higher time frame PD array. So without further ado, we're gonna hop on the charts. I'm gonna show you the trade first, and then after we're gonna go into depth of why I wanted to take this trade. So cheers. This is my second cup of coffee, much needed for this video, so I hope you enjoy, and this one's for you. All right, let's get started. So we're gonna start on the 1 minute time frame, just because I want to show you guys the trade that I took and essentially where I had placed my stops. So we'll go into more depth on why I wanted to see the markets run higher for these buy sides, and then this consequent encroachment of the daily wick. But for now, I just wanted to show you my trade. So we took out the 9:30 a.m. lows, and then we took out these lows down here. I wanted to see the market trade down into this 15-minute fair value gap, because it's also paired with this 1 hour order block, and we are in a discount. So we're in a discount looking for a buy setup, wanting to see the market move higher into these buy side liquidity areas, and this line right here is the consequent encroachment of the daily wick. So my trade was these highs to be safe, and then of course our full TP would have been at that consequent encroachment of the daily wick. So this was my trade. I actually got in on an inversion fair value gap. So after we took out this low and traded into that higher time frame PD array, we could see the market wanting to make higher highs right here. So I was waiting for the market to close above this 1 minute inversion fair value gap. As soon as it closed above that, it got in on that little pullback right there, and we took this trade. My fill was actually just above that 1 minute inversion fair value gap, but all in all, I find it was still a pretty good fill. We then broke market structure, moving higher. Obviously, the market was moving higher this morning, so I wanted to see higher prices. So we had already kind of had market structure, so we didn't need like a really big market structure shift. So seeing like the market kind of break these highs was enough for me. This would have been the 5 minute high, however. So we see the market do move higher. We took out this high, and then we closed above that 5 minute candle, which is beautiful. Of course, I wanted to see the market push higher, but in fact, we did come back down, taking out some of this sell side liquidity down here and retesting this 15-minute fair value gap one more time. We never actually took out my original stop, which was below this low here and below the 15-minute fair value gap. We never took out my original stop, but once I seen the market moving higher here, I decided to move my stops just below this candle right here, so just below that inversion fair value gap. Why did I want to move my stops? Well, I wanted to obviously see the market run higher. I figured that if we were going to come down and break this 1 minute inversion fair value gap, it would have been a continuation lower, and I was wrong on the market. But as you can see, we did in fact hit that stop, moved a little bit lower, but never really taking out the original stop loss, which was that low right there. And you know, it could have gone either way. Like it could have, I could be on here saying, hey, we got stopped out, but it wasn't full stop. Or hey, we got stopped out because we didn't move our stop loss. So trading is a little bit tricky because these are things that are gonna happen, and I think having a plan in place and knowing if the market, knowing where you're gonna move your stop, if you're gonna move your stop at all, is actually pretty important. And seeing what happened today is definitely very important, and I don't think I was planning for that. This morning I had a plan on where I wanted to enter the trade if we were able to pull back, but I didn't have a plan for when to move stops. I just kind of wanted to move stops a little bit because I didn't want the market to hit my stop, maybe. After taking a loss, right? You're kind of like, hey, I want to win. So moving my stops, I feel like was maybe a little bit of more of an emotional thing. Again, it could have been either way though, right? We could have been on here saying I got a full stop out. So it's just an interesting thing. So yes, I did move my stops, but then we can see the market did in fact want to move higher and then want to move into our objective for this morning. Let me know in the comments what you do with your stops. Like, do you trail your stops? What point does your trade have to be at before you move your stops? Or yeah, let me know. Like, I thought this was a pretty good stop placement, all things considered. However, we got stopped out and it hit our TP. Yeah. Now let's move on to kind of deciphering this trade that I took and kind of showing you what I was looking at this morning. So we're going to start on the daily time frame. Perfect. All right, so we're on the daily time frame. Now, I like how we closed above this daily fair value gap here, creating a inversion fair value gap. I wanted to see the market reach up for this daily wick if we were going to go move higher, so this consequent encroachment of this wick was my target. Because we had such like a strong push higher on Monday, I wanted to see that continue on Tuesday, and if we turn around today or tomorrow, I'm looking to see how we react at that daily inversion fair value gap. But my draw on liquidity this morning was the consequent encroachment of this daily wick here, and then potentially this high, which is a weekly high. So, and the fact that we were trading off this weekly order block here, and we have just kind of been moving higher. I didn't want to fight the trend. We're moving higher, let's trade higher. So this morning I went in with the mindset that, hey, if we can get like a nice pullback or something, we're gonna want to aim for that consequent encroachment of the daily wick. Let's drop down to the 1 hour. Perfect. Yeah, so as you can see, we've just kind of been moving higher. Monday we had a slow start, but then we ended up trading higher, like 200 points or something like that. So even on a Monday, that's not for a Monday, that's a pretty good run, 200 points. So I was just kind of like looking back, seeing what could potentially be reached, what what areas were being reacted to. And we can see we had like this 1 hour fair value gap, the market traded down into it, and then we had this 1 hour order block, the market traded down, all while turning this daily fair value gap into an inversion fair value gap after we closed above it. And then this morning, so we created this 1 hour fair value gap yesterday at 3, and you can see we've been kind of respecting this. We did trade a little bit lower, taking out the sell side liquidity, which these are actually our London lows here. These are our London lows, so we did take out the London lows at 7 a.m. So we took out a higher time frame area of liquidity, and we are still respecting this 1 hour fair value gap. The fact that the candles bodies are actually closing right around that consequent encroachment of that 1 hour fair value gap is also a good sign that we're going to want to push higher. So seeing this, I was like, okay, I want to see the market push higher. We're aiming for that daily consequent encroachment of the wick. We could see a potential turnaround in the afternoon, but the morning session I wanted to see the market move higher. So let's drop down to the 15. Awesome. And then this is kind of where my trading plan stemmed from. So we had this run at 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. We wanted to see if the market, here I'll delete it and then I'll re-put it on. So I measured out this low to this high. We wanted to see the market trade below that 50% level before taking out this high and before trading into our liquidity or our objective. If the market had continued to push higher to that consequent encroachment of the daily wick, I probably would not have even traded today, as the market could have probably continued to push higher. But we did not. We actually had a really nice pullback into that 50% level of the fib. We had a really nice pullback to that 50% of the fib. We came down into this 15-minute fair value gap. I wanted to see the market respect this 15-minute fair value gap, and we had a 1 hour order block here as well. Reason why was because it was a higher time frame PD array in a discount, and trading off that discount to move higher is ideal. Plus it's a higher time frame PD array, the 15-minute fair value gap, paired with this 1 hour order block, paired with this 1 hour fair value gap. So I wanted to see all these things be respected and take a buy off this area. But I did want to see that pull back down first, taking out that 9:30 a.m. low and trading down into here. Once we got below this 50% level and traded down into this 15-minute fair value gap, that's when I wanted to start looking for buy opportunities and get in for a buy. So we'll drop down to the 5-minute. Perfect. So after we traded down into this 15-minute fair value gap, I wanted to see the market buy. Now, because we already are trending, I'm not necessarily looking for that 15-minute break of market structure. I'm okay with a 1-minute break of market structure and just wanting to see some sort of movement that we are going to go higher. So that's when we decided that we're just going to look for a trade on the 1-minute time frame. And of course, I kind of already explained the trade on the 1-minute time frame, but we'll just do a brief overview again, just for clarity. We came down into the 15-minute fair value gap, respected it. We're in a discount here, so this would have been a really good entry right here, even on the 15-minute fair value gap. We did see the market kind of consolidate here, but we continued to make higher highs. We have this 1-minute inversion fair value gap that I wanted to see the market trade above and close above. Once we seen that, we took a trade in the 1-minute inversion fair value gap, and we wanted to see the markets continue to push higher for these pre-market or this 9:30 a.m. high buy side liquidity, these relative equal highs, and then into that consequent encroachment of the daily wick. So wanting to see the market move higher off this inversion fair value gap. Now, the markets, of course, again, did come down to that 15-minute fair value gap here, respected it, and then continued to push higher. We even pushed higher off of this. If you can see, we even pushed higher, breaking this. We had that kind of displacement move again, came back down, inversion fair value gap. The body's never closing below halfway, so that would have been a really nice entry too to re-enter on. But because I had already taken a loss, I was not interested in getting back into the market. But we do see the market did respect that inversion fair value gap again, once more, before displacement comes back down. This also could have been a really good entry right here to move higher, and then the market pushed higher at 1050, giving us that 1050 to 1110 macro push all the way into our objective of that consequent encroachment of the daily fair value gap. So beautiful. Honestly, a really, really nice trade. Just bad stop. Just bad risk management, I guess, really. If I would have let the trade run to take profit, we could have had a win. We could have also had a full stop. So something I'm learning, something I'm getting used to. But hey, you live and you learn. And I've definitely learned a lot today, watching the markets and moving stops and all the things. So I'm grateful that we were able to experience this, and I'm grateful that we were at least able to understand the direction of the market and where we wanted to see it go. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed talking about my trade, and I hope you got some value from it. Let me know in the comments again how you place your stops, or how you trail your stops, or if you just keep your stop at your original stop loss and you let your trade run to TP or stop loss. Let me know in the comments. Would greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you all soon. Bye for now.